Okay. Okay. So, welcome to Intuition Development. I'm Renee Rowe, intuitive counselor and teacher. Such an honor to be here with you all today. And I am going to be sharing those 3 tools, which we'll be practicing together for developing that strong connection with your own intuition, intuitive wisdom. Okay. So when you're receiving messages or connecting with your own intuition, one of the first recommendations is to feel safe and protected in your environment. And the reason for this is that if you're feeling safe and protected in your environment, you'll be able to relax, be open, and more receptive. Okay. So if you're in an environment and you notice that you're feeling kind of like your body might feel stressed or tense, you may witness that it's a little more challenging to actually access your intuition or guidance. Okay. So it's important to feel safe and protected in your environment. And it might mean that you need to know that you're not going to be interrupted, or if you're in your private room, private home space, you might need to communicate to people that, can you just give me a moment and not interrupt me for the next hour or something? Okay, so you have to figure out what makes you feel safe. And if you feel like people are going to come in and interrupt you and that doesn't feel safe to you, you're just going to want to communicate that and create that sense of safety and protection for yourself. And many of you know that I work closely with the Akashic record. And at a time when I was overwhelmed with emotion, the Akashic record gave me this prayer, which some of you are probably already familiar with. It's the Archangel Michael protection prayer. And this is one that I use before doing any deeper spiritual work. So before I go into deeper meditation or accessing intuitive information, whether it's for myself or others, I'm going to want to create that sense of protection for myself. And I use the Archangel Michael protection prayer. And one of why this could be important as well, right? When you're opening yourself to that intuitive wisdom and intuitive guidance, you're being very open and receptive. And when we're in that space, we're of course wanting to make sure that what we're receiving is something that is, loving, truth, wisdom. And when we're open and receptive, we could be putting ourselves at risk to be open and receptive to other things as well. Okay, so that's why it's really nice to do the Archangel Michael protection prayer and create that strong sense of safety and protection. And you're also setting that intention to receive whatever you want to call it, light, love, truth, wisdom. And you're setting, at the same time, you're setting that boundary to anything that's not that. Okay. And when I do the Archangel Michael protection prayer, I do like to tune in with my aura. And if you just were to put your hands out in front of you, our arms and our hands are about 2 feet out. And that is the recommended distance for your aura. Okay. So you're thinking about this egg that's encompassing you all around you. Yep, you can put your hands up. And you may even need to call your aura in or actually move it out a little bit. And just a reminder, this is just the recommended distance. When we're going through different things in our life, we might be more expanded, or we may feel more comfortable bringing it in a little bit. So there's also just using your own intuition and feeling things out to see what's comfortable for you. Okay, but that's just that recommended distance, about 2 feet out all around you. And with the Archangel Michael protection prayer, it's also helpful to imagine a golden color, a golden protection aura around you. So that's that last layer of your aura all around you. And you're just visualizing that. Or for some people, they like to feel and sense that golden protection aura around them. And as you do that, just witness what happens. When I do that, I notice that I relax a little bit. Already I notice my shoulders soften and relax a little bit. And just like I was talking about earlier, where when you're opening up to your intuition, you're being open and receptive. And we're wanting to protect ourselves from anything that is not, loving or wisdom or truth, right? And not allow for that to come in. And that is also the symbolism of the color gold. Just so you know, because people use different colors. Sometimes they're called to use different colors, but the reason why I use the gold is that it is the symbology of that, of where it lets love in, but then it blocks anything out that isn't love. Okay. Some people like to just block everything out, and they might go with a white light, right? And then the white light is that symbology of just blocking everything out. Okay. But you may notice at different times that, different colors come to you that you're wanting to work with. And there's probably a reason for that your intuition is wanting you to work with that color. A lot of people I know also like to use what they'll call the blue, the clarity blue, kind of really welcoming in that the protection as well of just wisdom. So also listen to your intuition to see what color is kind of coming in for you to support you in creating that protection. Okay. Today we're going to be practicing with the gold. Okay. So you have your golden protection aura all around you, encompassing you completely. And then after that, visualizing the golden protection aura, I like to bring awareness to my spiritual heart center. I like to place my hands at my heart and really allow for that strong connection with my heart to happen. And the reason for this is I want to be connected with my heart when I'm stating the prayer. Because when you're connected with your heart and you're setting intentions, it's quite powerful. So that could just be just a little thing you bring into if you set intentions for yourself, or you witness yourself throughout the day, bringing intent to your daily life. It could be a good check-in. It's like, what space is this coming from? Am I connected with my heart? Is it coming from my heart space? Okay, so we're connected with our hearts. And if you feel called to, you could just gently close your eyes. And you can welcome in the presence of Archangel Michael, or if there's any other guides that you work with closely, like say if you have a strong connection with Mary Magdalene, Jesus, or any guides that you work closely with, you can also call them in and ask them to support you in creating that strong sense of support and protection. And the key here is to set that intention to receive their support. And now I just welcome you to either silently to yourself or out loud recite the Archangel Michael protection prayer. Archangel Michael of divine source, of unconditional love, please assist me in putting a thick 24-karat golden protection aura around me. May this thick 24-karat golden protection aura protect me from any intentional and unintentional harmful energy. May this harmful energy be sent to Mother Earth, transformed to golden healing energy, and be returned to its rightful owners. I am protected now. I am protected now. And just noticing how it feels, creating a strong sense of safety and protection for yourself. Acknowledging that you're in your own space, your own energy, this little protection bubble. And as you do that, you can set that intention to allow yourself to open and expand. You could even imagine your heart chakra, your chest area opening and expanding to allow yourself to be more receptive. And the next tool that I want to review with you is the importance of feeling just deeply relaxed and at ease. And we'll be going through together just a quick body scan. In moments when we're really caught in our mental mind, we have a very overactive mental mind, and it's challenging to feel that sense of quiet and peacefulness within. What really helps us to be present is to bring awareness to our actual physical body, because that's what's real in the moment. When we have that overactive mental mind, what you'll notice if you witness those thoughts, they're probably going to a moment that does not exist right now. It's not grounded, it's not real. We might be visiting scenarios in our mental mind, going to future moments that aren't here yet, or revisiting the past. So one thing that's really helpful is just doing a quick body scan, body relaxation meditation. And what you're going to do is just start at your head. And you can do it as a meditation, or you can also be interactive with it and actually, place your hands on different areas of your body as you're bringing focus to them. Okay. That really helps. If you notice that you are someone that has a really active mental mind and it is challenging to have that sense of quiet within, then I do recommend you just bringing that physical hand touch to the areas that you're bringing your inner awareness to. Okay. So let's start, just keep your eyes closed and let's just start bringing awareness to your head, to your scalp. So your inner awareness is coming to this area, and to support you, you might just bring in some physical touch. Tuning in with your scalp, your forehead. And as you do that, I just want you to allow for those muscles to relax and soften. Gently tuning in with your different facial muscles, your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw. And as you do that, you're allowing for the muscles to relax and soften. Giving yourself permission to come into a deep state of relaxation. And if you notice that your mental mind starts entertaining a thought, just let yourself know that you don't need to engage with the thought, and then just bring your attention back to that body part that you're working with relaxing. Okay, so it's okay if you notice yourself drifting off to your thoughts, you just bring yourself back. Now checking in also with the back of your head, those occipital bones, your neck, and you're allowing for those muscles to relax and soften. Your full attention and focus on the area of the body you're working with. Checking in with your throat, allowing for the muscles of your throat to relax and soften. Now bringing your awareness down to your torso. So you're checking in with your chest area, your shoulders and upper back. And when you tune in with these different areas of your physical body, you're just welcoming them to soften and relax. You can even use the support of your breath, inhaling into that area of your body, and then using your exhale breath to release and let go of that stiffness or tension, and allowing yourself to come into that full state of relaxation. Just taking a moment to check in with your arms, your upper arms, your lower arms, your hands. And as you do that, as you bring your focus and attention to these areas, Give them permission to relax and soften. Feeling so at ease, so at peace. Your arms and hands fully relaxed. Now continuing to check in with your torso, your stomach area, your mid back and lower back area. And again, if you struggle with bringing your full attention and focus, you can use your hands to support you to bring that full attention to the areas you're working with, relaxing. The muscles of your back relaxing and softening, allowing your stomach to grow big as the muscles relax. Feeling more and more at ease, bringing your awareness down to your hips, your buttocks area, your hips, tuning in. Now go ahead and just allow for your hips to relax and soften. Bringing your awareness down to your legs, your upper legs, your knees, your lower legs, your inner awareness and attention, scanning your legs. And as you do that, you're allowing for the muscles to relax and soften. And just a reminder that you can use your breath to support you. Your inhale breath, breathing into those areas, and your exhale breath, releasing and letting go of that tension and tightness. And gently starting to roll your ankles, tuning in with your inner and outer ankles, and allowing for the muscles here to relax and soften. Wiggling your toes a little bit, tuning in with your feet. So your full attention and awareness is here at your feet, the top of your feet, the bottom of your feet, your toes. And as you bring your attention and focus here, you're allowing for the muscles of your feet to relax and soften. Feeling deeply, deeply relaxed, feeling at ease. allowing yourself to be fully grounded and present in your body. Returning your attention and focus to your spiritual heart center. You may even feel called to gently place your hands here. Acknowledging that you're safe and protected, fully relaxed, with your heart open and receptive. And as you're connected here, I just want you to practice just being quiet and listening, being open and receptive. You may even notice a message coming through for you. And if your mental mind is getting involved, I just welcome you to bring your focus back to your heart center. And then being open and receptive to listening. And so now that you've learned about creating that safe and protective space, and then just doing that body scan relaxation, I want to just teach one more tool that really supports developing that quiet within yourself. So this tool came to me when I was on a personal silent meditation retreat, and before going on the retreat, my life was just busy. You know, life gets busy sometimes, and life was just busy. And so when I get to my little cabin up in the mountains for my personal silent retreat, my mental mind was so busy. And so at that time, I checked in with my guidance, and I was like, hey, I need some support here. What can I do to help, help with this overactive mental mind and bring this sense of quiet within? And my guidance just told me to light one of the candles and stare at the candle flame. And so that's what I did, and it really helped me. So if you have a candle at home, we're going to practice with a video. I hope it works. We'll practice with a video. But one thing that I've noticed in myself and a lot of others is when you let yourself just stare at that candle flame, it really helps you learn focus. And I also want you to notice your physical body. I notice that my physical body will naturally soften and relax. And I just come into this nice meditative zone. Okay. So let's see if it'll work. Okay. So ideally you would be using, a real candle at home, But we're going to practice with this video, and you're just bringing your full attention to the flame. Noticing the movement of the flame. All your focus and attention going to the candle flame. And we'll just take a few moments of silence together, watching the candle flame. And as you do that, I just welcome you to just make sure that your heart is open and expanded and receptive. If different thoughts come up, just remind yourself that you don't need to engage, returning your focus back to the candle flame. Growing quieter and quieter within. And in just a moment, I'm going to stop the candle flame. And I just want to talk about when we're receiving intuitive messages. Okay. So, but first, I just want to recap those 3 tools that you learned. So if you're really wanting to have kind of that you could create a daily practice around this, a daily spiritual practice where you're doing your Archangel Michael protection prayer, or you're just visualizing that golden protection aura around you. And then you're transitioning into tuning in, starting from your head, working your way down, just tuning in with the different areas of your body, right? Your full focus and attention going to the different areas of your body and just allowing them to relax. That helps you to be present. to be fully in your body and present and in that relaxed and receptive space. And then to build that foundation of creating that quiet within yourself, you can have that candle accessible. Also, put if you liked it on the video, it's just a video on YouTube, you can use that as well. Or you can light the candle and just do that for, anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes. Okay. So you can, it doesn't have to be that long. It could be about a 15-minute spiritual practice that you do. And what you'll notice is you'll feel more centered, more grounded, open and receptive to receiving those intuitive messages, even throughout the day, right? You might be sitting there washing the dishes or something, and these intuitive messages are coming through for you. But this is a great tools if you just really wanted to integrate that practice into your daily life. And it doesn't take long, okay? And now I just want to talk about just those intuitive messages, okay? Because a lot of times they can be very subtle. Especially if we've been dealing with an active mental mind, those intuitive messages can be very subtle. And one thing that does help is right now, if you could think of a moment in your life when you got that intuitive message for yourself, it was loud, it was clear, and you didn't have any doubts. Okay? Let's see if you can think of one of those moments in your life where you're like, oh, I got that intuitive message, or I got that gut feeling, and I didn't have any doubts. It was loud and clear. And when you get that intuitive message, your body will respond in a certain way. And I want to see if you can tune in when you recall that memory of when that intuitive message came in really loud and clear. Just kind of allowing yourself to relive that moment to see how your body responded. Like for me, I might get this thump, like this thump in my heart. And the reason why I want you to do that, to get more clarity around how your body responds when you receive those intuitive messages, is what you'll notice is even when the intuitive messages are like whispers, right? They're very subtle, and you're like, what was that? Was that a message for me? And I want you to see if that body response was present for you. Okay, because it'll be more in the background, like maybe, how for me, I get that thump in my heart. It might be a more subtle little thump in the heart, but that sometimes that can help with developing that trust in the intuitive guidance that's coming through, or even having more awareness. Like say, if I notice that thump in my heart, and I'd be like, oh, that was an intuitive message. That was intuitive guidance coming through. And if you are wanting your intuitive guidance to be louder, to be more clear, how that would work is when you do get intuitive guidance coming through for you, is applying it. Okay, that can be a little tricky. Okay, tricky, and sometimes when you apply it, it can create a level of initial discomfort. Once you're on the other side of it, feels really great. But sometimes people are met with discomfort, okay? And what you'll notice is the more that you receive those intuitive messages, that intuitive guidance, and you actually take that action step in your life to apply it, you'll notice that it gets more clear and loud to you, okay? And it's no longer like you're straining to hear the whispers of that guidance coming through. But what can be challenging, right, is when that guidance comes through and we do not want to listen to it, right? We have that resistance towards the intuitive guidance that's coming through. And it could be challenging to follow through with it, right? To make those shifts and changes in our life, to to be in alignment with that guidance coming through for us. I've witnessed personally in my own life and other people's lives is that when that guidance comes through, it might require a shift or change for us, which will require an initial discomfort, which we get when we get on the other side. We're like, oh, wow, I'm so glad I did that and followed through with that. However, if we don't listen, life has a way of supporting us with through experiences that happen. And then it's as if it gets louder and louder. Okay, so through our life experiences, we might be getting challenged or tested in a way that actually supports us to listen to that divine guidance that's coming through. Okay, so sometimes for me, my guidance might, say like, "Oh, hey, you need to do this," and then life will bring in a signal to me, to support me to be in alignment with that guidance. But sometimes I'm not quite ready to take that step, and I'm like, "Oh, I'll just wait for the signal to get louder. I'll wait for that life experience signal to make me a tad bit more uncomfortable, so I'm ready to make that change." Okay. So life has that beautiful way of supporting us to be in alignment with that divine guidance coming through. And we can kind of choose whether, like, how loud we want that signal to be. Okay. And sometimes I'll just communicate with those signals too. Okay. If you are really aware of what that divine guidance is that's coming through and you're not quite ready to make the change, right? Whoever you work with, whether it's your guidance, the universe, God, I welcome you to communicate that. Okay. Saying like, hey, I'm listening. I hear the guided message. I'm not quite ready to make that change, but I'm getting there. And I ask for gentleness. Okay. So important to ask for that gentleness, because if you don't, life is coming in and being like, oh, they need some more support. They can't hear us. They can't hear what this guided message is. So let me create this life experience for you to go through to really make it loud and clear. Okay. And those can be quite uncomfortable. So sometimes it's nice just to ask for that gentleness, right? Understanding like, okay, I get it. That's what's guided. I'm not quite ready to make that change. And I'm just asking for gentleness until I'm ready. Okay. So the acknowledgement that the guidance is coming through, the acknowledgement that you get it, you're kind of building yourself to be ready to take that action step, to be in alignment with your guidance, and asking that for that gentleness. Okay. Yeah. Right. And I love to honor the free will choice. It's like we can choose how loud we need that signal that life gets us to be before we're ready to make that change. Okay. Sometimes those changes can be like a big one sometimes is, say, if your guidance is telling you to leave a job or something, and your fears come in around security, right? This one I'll witness a lot: financial stability and security. Okay. And you're just not quite ready to listen to your guidance. Okay. And then the signal, like life wants to come in and support you with that change. So then you might get fired. Okay. So instead of quitting, right, life is coming in and supporting and getting you fired. Right. So then you can be in alignment with your guidance. So that's just like an example of what could happen. Okay. Okay. And when we're listening and applying our divine guidance, one thing that we'll get practice with is having trust and faith in that guidance. Because many times the guidance that's delivered, it doesn't make logical sense, or we can't even see where that guidance is going to lead us to. Okay. Maybe we have this vision or goal for ourselves, and then we make that choice and that intent to listen to guidance, and guidance might come in and give us a tool, a step to take where logically we can't see how it fits in with that vision or goal that we have for ourselves. that can be your confirmation that, oh, you're on the right track. That's guidance. Where you can't really see when you take that step that divine guidance gives you, what the outcome is going to be. Okay. And I'll give a little like example. I remember this is when I was living in Bolivia, and it was and there was a lot like kind of like riots going on, and I was volunteering at this orphanage, and I would always take the same route back. Okay, so I was at the orphanage coming home, and I would always take the same route back, and then all of a sudden my guidance stops me and is like, no, you can't go that way. You need to go this way. And so I'm having this little argument with my guidance going like, well, what are you talking about? You want me to go like add 5 miles to my trip and go all around the city? Okay, fine. And so I listen. I'm like, okay, fine. I have no idea why my guidance is telling me to go this very illogical way back home, right? Way out of the way. And so, I make it home safely. Everything's fine. And I happened to turn on the local news later, and then saw that right in the path that I usually walk home, there was like a riot broke out. A lot of people got injured and killed and everything. And but in the moment, I just had to trust and have faith in my guidance. It didn't make any sense to me why I had to go so far out of the way just to make it home. Okay, so I had no idea what the outcome was. And I happened to turn on the news to figure out the why, but sometimes we don't know the why. Okay. Sometimes we don't know the why, but you see how it didn't make any logical sense, right? To take a path that I was unfamiliar with, add like 5 miles to my walk home, right? To my apartment, right? It didn't make any logical sense. Okay. So that's how divine guidance will work a lot, where it is supporting us. But when we get our mental mind involved, we'll notice it's like it doesn't make logical sense. Okay. And one of the challenges with that as well is you may notice that, if you share what's guided for you, you may receive judgments from other people because they're like, hey, that doesn't make logical sense. Wouldn't you do this? Take these steps that make this logical sense. So I love to use that as a confirmation. Okay. So if I'm receiving judgment from people with my divine guidance, I just use that as a confirmation. It's like, oh yeah, there's my confirmation. This is what's guided for me. Okay. When receiving judgment from others, because it just doesn't make logical sense. Okay. And then a lot of times you're not going to know what that outcome is, right? It's kind of it's having that trust and faith in that divine guidance, that message that's coming through for you. And when you apply it, you're not going to know what the outcome is going to be. Okay. Taking those steps and trust and faith into the unknown. Okay. And that can be a scary terrain for people, right? Accepting and embracing the unknown. And I love the practice of just like witnessing your thoughts, right? And especially witnessing when it's coming from spaces of fear, right? When we're needing to know the outcome, right? It's good to witness yourself. Where is that coming from? Is it coming from a space of fear or trust within yourself? Okay. If you notice that it's coming from that space of fear, I welcome you to witness that, acknowledge, oh, this is coming from fear. And ask yourself, do I really want to make a choice from fear? In those moments, just allow yourself to pause. Okay. And it's helpful to know when you are making choices in your life, what space are they coming from? From fear, from trust, from love? And a lot of times when we're applying that divine guidance, it does require us to tap into that deep trust. Okay. And we may experience the fear responses coming up. If they come up, fears, doubts, I like to remind people, just because there's fears and doubts coming up, It's not the whole of who you are. You don't need to let them own you. You still don't need to allow yourself to make choices from those, right? But still just let them come up. You're not trying to ban them or say like, oh, you're not valid. I don't want you to exist. You can acknowledge them. It's like, oh, I have some fears and doubts coming up, but you could still make that choice from trust. Okay. Okay. And just some of the things that I've noticed for myself and in others when we make that choice to and this feels a little biased, by the way. This is a Renee bias. As we make take those steps that are more in alignment with our divine guidance or living that guided life, we will be met with support, trust, and creating that life of deep meaning and fulfillment for ourselves. Okay. It's what I've witnessed for myself and in others, but just know that I am biased there. Okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and let's see if I can figure this out. Unshare. Go back to, here we go. Stop sharing. And I just want to check in with everyone, see if you have any specific questions. I'll just see. Okay. I think you guys are good. Okay. And are you feeling, you could just give me like a thumbs up if you're feeling good about having some tools to work with, if you're really wanting to work with the guidance, connecting with your intuition and intuitive guidance. Okay. And just a reminder that you will have access to the replay. Okay. Because there's the Archangel Michael protection prayer and everything. So you'll have access to the replay either in the Facebook group or I'll email it. Okay. So you'll have access to that. And if you go, oh, what was that tool? Or I can't remember that. Just watch the replay again. Okay. Aw. Thank you
Renee?
so much for joining me. Yes, Monica?
Ray, I have a question. Like, if we're not able to set the space and all that kind of stuff, and we're kind of in the middle of life and need the guidance,
I'll say
is
it again.
it something that if you're not able to set the scene of like sitting and watching the candle and grounding and all that kind of stuff, but like more out in life and you need your
Monica,
guidance,
can you type your question?
Oh shoot. No, I can't. Sorry.
Oh. So was anyone else able to hear? It kept going in and out.
Yeah, I think what she was trying to say was that when life gets really busy and you can't sit and look at the flame and you're having a really hard time just getting, because life is so busy at the moment, what can be done, or what is something that gives you the same effect when things are kind of you're in the middle of something.
Oh yeah. So that's where I go to the tools. Okay. So the tools that we went over, especially the candle, right? Just because that can quickly bring you back. If you're noticing that you're like, kind of spiraling, overwhelmed, right? That you probably first just have to go to your tools. And then, so you go to your tools and then you're developing that foundation for the guidance to come in. Okay. So if you're in that state of overwhelm, it's not just going to be this magical snap of your fingers and woohoo, okay, I can tune in with the guidance, right? And it still happens to me. I go into the overwhelm. What do? I go to my tools. And then once I've been working with my tools, then I've reestablished that beautiful connection with guidance again. Okay. And so that's what I would recommend.
I think when she was having a hard time, if she can't get to the candle, what is something else that she can use? Or she's in the middle of something, right? And she needs the guidance. And she can't look at a flame.
what is something out? Is there something? I mean, this is what I'm assuming she's
Or
asking.
the video. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to explain is sometimes when you're in that overwhelm, you can't have that instant of access to your guidance. You have to revisit your tools.
Okay.
Okay. And what are these tools? It's about being in your body, safe, protective, open, receptive, and quieting down. It really helps to bring focus and attention. If you didn't have a candle, right, and you're in that overwhelm, go to your breath, right? That's one that a lot of people are familiar with. Place your hands on your heart, right? You bring your full focus and attention to the hands on your heart and you're breathing. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the tools you've learned are to develop that foundation and being able to have that ease of access to your intuitive wisdom and guidance. We all have those moments where life kind of shakes us up and we're in that overwhelm and we have all these thoughts going on, right? And what you're going to do is go to your tools. And sometimes if it's a big overwhelm of emotions and thought processes, you have to go to your tools for a few days before you reestablish the connection. So sometimes it requires us to be gentle and patient with ourselves. Okay. For me personally, I like to do my tools every day. So I have that connection. But sometimes, right, we have to have that hiccup in our lives, that life experience that brings us back to our tools. Yeah. Yeah.
Appreciated the candle. I hadn't thought about that before, but it really is amazing how it puts you in the present moment. So thank you. Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome. It's such a simple tool. I don't know. I'm sure they do it somewhere, but it just came from my guidance. And I was like, oh, like, is this a thing? I don't know, but it works.
Apparently it is.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other questions before we go? Such an honor to share time with all of you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.